Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into the Famous Dwayne's podcast. I am your host, Dwayne, and with me is basically my co-host, Miss Ajaya Divine. Say what up to the people.
Hey, peace. What's good? What's good?
So, on this very special day, we're going to talk about matriarchy, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like for Black people. So, you always hear about patriarchy this, patriarchy that. I've heard that the reason why people have allergies is tied to patriarchy because they plant nothing but male trees, and there's too many. It's a sausage fest, and there's too much, plant skeet in the air, and that's why people have allergies. When it used to just be like, kind of like maybe 10% of the population. I think it was just allergy medicine, but that's another story for another day, another show. But yeah, so Ajaya, in your heart of hearts, what is your definition of a matriarchy?
I think a matriarchy is, first of all, a matriarchy is something that knows that it's founded on the feminine principle. And that everything basically comes through the woman. So she's kind of naturally in charge because it's her creation. So I think, but then there has to be a balance in everything. Like that's just universal law. There has to be a balance. Even if you look at examples, like what's the movie? Even in Avatar, the woman was like the priestess, you know what I mean? Like she was truly over how the community went, like over that part. However, the father was kind of over the training and the, you know what I mean? Like it was always a balance, but at the end of the day, because the woman was always more spiritual and more in tune to things that others couldn't see, you know what I mean? Like everything always went through the woman. That is the matriarchy, because the woman's always going to take care of her creation, which includes the male, because we have, you know what I mean? Like we have men, like they, you know what I mean? They are us. Like we can't separate, the woman can't separate herself from the man. Right. You can't give birth to men and males and separate yourself from the man. However, the male can be very separated from the female.
Most definitely.
But I don't have a very strict definition, aka.
Oh, that's all that means? Okay.
That's what all that means.
All right. So, I mean, do you have any idea of like how we got here to this whole patriarchy thing, or?
I mean, it's always been about control. You know what I mean? Like, because if you can control the woman, then you control the future, you control the children, then you can, you know what I mean? Like, so, and if for men to want to control the world, you know what I mean? Like they have to control the woman. They have to, because it doesn't matter what a man does if the woman is going to take the seed and raise the seed how she wants to.
Right.
Man, you know what I mean? Like, so he has to control the woman in order to be able to build the future that he wants to have. So that's where patriarchy comes from. You know what I mean? That's where the flip in the world happened, where it became something that was male led, or male, you know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much male led. Patriarchy, that's where it comes from. So like, instead of being from the woman who is taking care of creation, it's from the male who is more of the masculine principle of action. And, we see where we are. I was like, we see where we are. Like, yeah. And but it's natural though, because males are more disconnected from the spiritual realm since they don't have wombs. Like, nigga, we're a spiritual portal. We're literal portals. So like, it's a little different.
So women are like the crystals, and we're just the.
No, we're the same though. Y'all just don't have the portal. That's it. We're the exact same, minus that.
Got you. So in the Black community, if you're going to call it that, or the melanated populace,
Right.
is there a patriarchy, a matriarchy? Is it like what is going on there with that?
It's naturally a matriarchy if you actually look at it and what's going on. It's a natural matriarchy, because even in families where there are strong male presence, it still is usually grandma or great grandma. It's even if there's a strong male, with the strong male presence, it's still, usually the one at the elder is usually a grandmother, and that's half of that is because women outlive men. You know what I mean? Like there probably really was a grandpa too, but grandpa died at 50, grandma was 80. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's real shit. So like it's naturally a matriarchy. Naturally people tend to go more towards their maternal family. Like a lot of people are naturally more closer to their maternal family. It's not across the board, of course, but so it's really maternal. Then if you want to talk about like single mothers, that makes it very matriarchy. A lot of males grew up in a matriarchal household. You know what I mean? Like, and the problem is now that a lot of women are selling matriarchy as like are just doing what men do, but calling it a matriarch. And that's like, nah, that's not what that is. You know what I mean? That's just like the same thing of putting blackface on white institutions. You know what I mean? Like it's just and a lot of people are coming at patriarchy was a very religious thing too, that was pushed through religion. Matriarchy was never religious or linked to religion. You know what I mean? Like it was linked to spiritual systems, different, whether you go with, the Wiccans and that stuff, or Yoruba, like there was certain, traditions that were kind of that, but there was never a religion. But patriarchy has a whole like religion and capitalism and expanding across the world kind of idea behind it, where matriarchy was never about domination.
Right. Yeah, it was with men it's more so concrete, women are more abstract. So
yeah,
if it's going to be something that's patriarchal, it's like this, like this, and like this. A woman's just like, like I'm fluid, whatever. So I get that. I get that. So I mean, as far as this community and stuff like that, I mean, what can we do here? I mean, is there really a problem with this whole, I mean, with the matriarchy thing? I mean, are like the way that things are now, is there a problem in your eyes, do you think?
I mean, I think there's a problem, but I wouldn't blame it on the idea of matriarch. I would more blame it on the shared culture, like Black culture as a whole, hell, even US culture as a whole. Like it's hard you can't embody the ideas of matriarchy if all you ever lived in is a patriarchy. And you don't even understand how deep that runs. So when you're thinking of a matriarch, for a lot of people, I don't want to say that, for surface level, if you're going surface level, more of like the feminist kind of, it's supposed to be a matriarchy type of deal, and not more of if we're going that way, okay, which is, I feel like that's where a lot of people fall, is more in that in that realm. They're still trying to prove that they're just as good as that they can do what the patriarchy did as a matriarch, rather than actually embracing what a woman truly is, and bringing their strength to the table,
right,
and being a force to actually be reckoned with. instead of trying to prove that I can do, you know what I mean? Like, so
Right.
it's hard to understand what a true matriarchy is if you're still thinking from the aspect of a patriarch and you still valuing the same things that you were taught through the patriarch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because a lot of women don't truly value the idea of children in your womb and how they don't find value in that. Like, you know, so it's like you can't fucking, if you don't value that shit, you can't be a matriarch, bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah, like I actually saw somebody that they were in Times Square and they saw somebody had a sign that said stop having babies. They had like a picture of a baby and it was like X'd out. And she was like, what the fuck does this mean? And it's like, you know, it's like people shouldn't be pressured. Women should feel pressured to have children and this, that, and the third or whatever, whatever. But it's just like, if that's the case, then maybe a different slogan might be better. Cause like, stop having babies and like just a picture of a baby with an X through it. That's like, yo, what do you mean right now?
No, just, and then, I mean, you only feel pressure because you feel pressure. Like, if you don't want to have children, don't fucking have children. Like, when people do that, they want people to, like, not have opinions about what the fuck you doing. People gonna have opinions because they don't have shit else to do with their life. Like, so someone's opinion, like, oh, I just feel pressured. That's just somebody's fucking opinion. Like, get over it. If you don't want, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but
like we were told about peer pressure from like
for how
elementary
long?
school. And now you a grown ass adult and societal pressure or peer pressure, which is just boneless peer pressure, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, and I think what it really boils down to is just people not being grounded in who they are.
Yeah, people don't know who the fuck they are.
Whatever else the fuck is out there.
And that's why that's why it don't matter what label you put on it. You can call it matriarchy, you can call it patriarchy, you can call it give a fuck. You can call it anything. And if people haven't truly found themselves and don't know what and aren't balanced and don't want, they gonna fuck it up. It don't matter what it is. You can call it anything. Like it could be the quote unquote perfect societal plan. You know what I mean? Like, because even capitalism, in many aspects of it, if people just weren't fucking greedy and had egos, you could make it work. You could make anything fucking work. Like you can make anything work if people were actually honorable and people actually and gave a fuck about each other. We can make any system work. Like it's not about the fucking system, and that's what people are failing to understand. Like it doesn't matter if it's matriarchy or patriarchy or women in charge or men in charge. Like if the people are fucking fucked up, then whatever they do is gonna be fucked up.
Yeah, case in point. So yeah, I think that's really what I think all of these different titles and stuff like that is just distractions of people finding themselves. And yeah, as long as people have no knowledge of self, you know, you can just keep telling them who they are because they don't know who they are. And they just feed into that thing and these societal pressures or whatever about, oh, I need to do this, or I need to do that. And it's crazy. I see on Facebook, particularly, like, you know, a lot of women saying, oh, like, stop asking women when they're having kids or whatever. But then, I mean, at the same time, it's just like, I keep seeing people like, yo, you've been with that girl for like 15 years, when you gonna marry? And it's just like, don't ask me that. Don't pressure me. You know, so I mean, honestly, I think it's just people to see the mind their own business. Like I've seen a lot of things that I find repulsive that I'd rather not mention, but it's not my business. I don't really care, honestly. Like only thing I care about really is like the kids, my family, that like matter to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was like, and people who are truly like people who are asking, it really usually don't be none of their fucking business. Like this is not a casual conversation of, oh yeah, we're at work, you know what I mean? Or you're at work and like, man, when you gonna have some kids? Or just like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like if it's a conversation you want to have like with your mama, then you need, if your mama is pressuring you, then you need to have a conversation. That's another thing. People don't want to grow up and have fucking conversation. Have an adult conversation. If you don't fucking like it, sit down and have a conversation. Fucking say that shit instead of just going around like to keep pressuring me. grow up and be like, hey, stop asking me about when I'm having children. If I get pregnant, I'll let you know, or if I'm thinking about it, I'll let you know. Other than that, is not right now. You know what I mean? Like,
even just the way that the question is framed, it's not even, it's just assumptive. They're assuming the sales. Like, yeah, so when are you having babies? As opposed to like, have you guys thought about having children yet? There's like a big difference. Sometimes actually, if you're having kids, you don't even got a nigga in sight.
People be like, people be asking me that, do you want more children? I mean, shit, ideally, but
right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, it doesn't, but then here's the thing about it is I'm secure in whatever the fuck happens. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people are unsure about their future. So those questions make them feel like, oh my God, I don't know. And you know what I mean? Like, shit,
right.
I don't know, shit. You know what I mean? Like, people are also like fearful of their future, or they don't know, or they're unsure. So it makes them more uncomfortable. Like, again, people don't have balance, they don't have their shit figured out. Like, everybody gonna be in their feelings. You know what I mean? Like, everybody gonna be scared to speak up, like all this shit. It's just like, man, everybody want to fight about shit. Matriarchy, patriarchy, feminists, whatever. What was the male feminist? Like, people will split mask, no mask. Like, y'all just want something to fucking argue over. Like, y'all just want to make a division so y'all can try to have something to fucking fight and whatever about. Like, just figure out something that fucking works and do it. If it works, fucking do it. People, y'all, everybody want to be Black Power this, Black Power that, da 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 da, but y'all trying to find labels, and fucking labels, that's a European construct. Trying to fucking label everything and putting everything in fucking boxes and categories. Like, my nigga, they don't even really know what the family structures in a lot of the indigenous communities were, because they didn't fucking tell them, and you couldn't fucking tell, and it was none of your fucking business, and they really didn't care. Whatever worked. Don't cause no strife in the community out here doing the most, but like, whatever fucking worked.
You know, the whole concept of the nuclear family and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I look at it like this: like, if that worked for you, that's fine. I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, it would make sense. You know, if two people made a child, that they should be able to both contribute to his upbringing, because they both made it. So that's the mess that they made.
Right.
So you should be able to do that. But you know, things happen. Niggas die every day, B. You know.
But if you think about the way that they used to live, is they lived in village, they lived in community. So even if we didn't stay together, nigga, you right down the go fucking, that's your daddy over there. Like, he's like, you're still, it's still a daily interaction. There's still a joint community that y'all are a part of. So like, he's still present. You know what I mean? There's still a presence there. Where now, if you're not together, and nigga could live on the other side of town, and y'all could just never see each other if you don't actually make an effort. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very different society to live in, as to why for them the family structure wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, or it could have been a lot more flexible. Well, now without it, people are scattered all over the fucking city. You know what I mean? Like, let alone the country. You know, so it's like, we think about stuff from such a limited perspective, not understanding that how people were living in the past was different. So they didn't have the same constraints of like having to live, hell, it's great grandparents and stuff that lived in separate houses. You know what I mean? Like, and was married. So like, they just people are so strict or so narrow in their thinking, that they think everything's gotta fit into something, because they was educated in schools never mind. Just
yeah, I know. And the crazy thing is that even with the way that things worked in the past, you know, this is before internet, it's before social media, before a lot of stuff. So we're coming into a new time that we've never seen before. So maybe it may work, maybe it may not work, but we need to figure it out. And so just saying it's like just one way to do things, that may work and may not work. It all depends on, you know, how you guys are set up, who you decided to give your DNA to, my niggas, you know, that kind of thing. So shifting gears here. So when I release this episode, it will be Mother's Day.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that holiday?
Oh man, y'all know I don't give a fuck about that holiday at all. However, I think you should honor your mother. It shouldn't take a holiday for you to do it. Right. You should do it every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, just appreciate, you know what I mean? Like, if you should do things to show your mother that you appreciate her regularly, you know what I mean? Right. Like, but it is nice to do a special something. So it's not the fact that you're doing something special for mothers that is the problem, where I'm like, fuck that. It's just that it's a commercial thing that they just use to make money. That's why I'm like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's pimping it out.
It's but I also think it allows for people to have the opportunity to do something on Mother's Day and feel like, well, I did that on Mother's Day and then not do anything. That's the other thing. You know what I mean? Like, for the people who just do something extra on Mother's Day, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing for my mom, honestly. I just remembered Wednesday that it was this weekend because I don't watch TV. I don't really be on nothing like that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think when you text me, you was like, can we do it before Mother's Day? I was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's this weekend? Okay. But yeah, like, it's nice. It's a cool gesture. I'm not hating on that, but like, it's not my culture. That's my new thing. It's not my culture.
But... Right. I get that. And yeah, I mean, my mother in particular, I mean, she's not a very, what's the word I want to use? She's not super big on Mother's Day or any kind of gifts like that. She's more so about like time. I guess that's her love language.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, I remember one time I was down bad. You know what I'm saying? I was going through it. And I remember texting my mom, like probably like the day before Mother's Day. I was just like feeling bad when I get her a gift. She's like, I don't care about that. Like, are you okay, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the biggest thing. Are you okay? Like, just, show your appreciation. I don't care about all that other stuff. And I was, man, I was bad. Like I was texting her from my house that had wheels, like at the time, my place of residence, and I was just like, damn, like I gotta give her something. And, I'm a Gemini, so like her birthday was coming up too, like the next month. I'm like, oh man, damn. But like she just made it clear, like I don't really care about all of that stuff. Like I'm not that's not who I am. Like just honor me as your mom's. You only get one, I only got a little bit of time left. Not a little bit of time, but you know what I mean. Like,
well, right, but yeah,
take advantage of that, and that meant a lot to me because some of these moms out here,
they be pouting when they don't get. They be acting like the little girlfriends.
Yeah,
you didn't give me no.
And I think nowadays it's more so baby Mother's Day. where it's like, oh man.
I mean, I feel like I get it if you're like with, your wife or whatever. But I mean, I think it's thoughtful if you do something for her, but I don't know. That's weird. Like, that's weird. I think a couple of times I let Rami like do a call. I helped him like make a card, and like I think I printed off a picture or something for Father's Day for him to give to his dad. Like, so I was like, well, I guess I don't know if he would feel away if he wants something. You know what I mean? I was like, he might want something. I don't know. I was like, well, I'm not about to make it a big deal, but I'll just make it from Rami here. Just
and I actually saw this however many years ago. Facebook is ops. We already know that already.
But oh man.
Between Twitter, those Twitter bots making up different scenarios and starting a conversation, and Facebook doing the same thing. So I saw a post and it was like, I was dating my boyfriend or whatever, and his I think it was he got his baby mother something for Mother's Day or something like that, and I feel some kind of way about it. I'm like, if you don't got kids with the nigga, I mean, what? Because I look at it like this, from a man's perspective, and someone that has kids or whatever, it's like, yeah, we may not be together per se, but I'm still gonna show my kids that their mother needs to be respected, honored, and
Yeah.
treasured.
That's why I said just make it from the children. Like whatever it is. That's why I was like, just be like, you didn't get your mama something from Mother's Day, let's go.
Yeah.
And let you know what I mean? And help
Yeah.
them pick something, whatever, and be like,
yeah, but to have like somebody else be like, why you getting her stuff? I'm like, are you
because
carrying
she's
my
the
seed?
mother. Yeah. Like, because she's my children's mother and she needs to be appreciated.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be putting on papers. Is you gonna pay that for me, beloved? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it in bed because I know way too many on those papers, and to those people, I mean, some people they need to be on the papers. Some people they just need to work it out.
Man, my friend, he's like, man, he's like, I promise you, I gave her more money before she even put me on paper. So I didn't understand. I didn't understand the move. He was like, I didn't understand the move. He was like, well, all right, if that's what you want. He was like, I give her exactly that. Like,
right.
Yeah, like,
and I think what it really boils down to, and we're all over the place, but we're still in the same thing of, woman.
I know, right?
Because y'all are abstract, so it all makes sense. It all ties together. I really feel like if you have to get the courts involved, it's because of a lack of, for some reason, you guys can't communicate. Like, that needs to be a last resort to have anybody in your business. Like, you're like, look, I'm down bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I need a little bit extra, what's going on? Need to get his hair cut. You looking like you. I need you to send me some money. Something like, but to just have like the court demand that you do this.
Yeah.
What niggas do is like, okay, so basically anything that's, that I'm being taxed on, anything that has a W-4,
yep.
Hey, so let me just get money elsewhere.
Yep. It's all part of the little cycle. It's a well-oiled system they put together there.
Yeah.
But here I'm gonna bring it back to the matriarch real quick. So here's the real deal for the matriarch that I don't think that women are ready to face. Because it kind of speaks to when, go into the court and put men on paper. Fuck all that shit. The matriarch means you take care of the shit. It's fucking on you, bitch. How about that?
Wait, hold up.
How about that? Since you trying to put on your big girl panties and shit, how about that? Stop putting people in your business because you can't control who you fucking get pregnant by and don't want to deal with the consequences of that shit. If you want to be a matriarch.
So are you saying that the matriarchy requires women to be accountable for their actions?
Through and through.
Matter of fact, even go as far to say that it calls them to be more accountable for the action than they already are, like to the fullest extent, because at that point,
it's on you.
Damn.
If that man is not respecting you, then that's on you. Because who created this shit? Who put the culture together? Who's raising the children? Who decided all that shit? It's on you. So if the men aren't respecting the women, then that's on you. It's already on you on a personal level if somebody is in your life and not respecting you. So that's why I be like, when they be like, well, men don't respect, nah, bitch, they don't respect you. Don't put that shit on women. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Brief aside, the next episode is going to be about bad box management, and I need you on there. My wife told me that she wants you on that episode, so we'll talk later about that. Because there's definitely a difference between being a hoe and being a bad manager of your box. But we're gonna talk about that later.
Yep.
It's gonna be fire. So But yes, I do think that in this society that's, you know, considered patriarchal or whatever, that it does kind of give women an out for their responsibilities. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, I have a bunch of kids and, you know, by different men, and I don't really know how to take care of them, so I can lean on the government to do that. If I want to shake my ass, you know, I can go somewhere for free. But if
Yep,
I'm there before 11, niggas got paid though.
always. It's the patriarchy. Y'all supposed to pay.
Yeah.
And we
It's in
know
the
that y'all
name,
gonna
patriarchy.
and we already know y'all gonna show up to where the women are.
Right, exactly.
I was like, that's the thing. I was like, and that's what women, I was like, man, the power never went nowhere. You just got tricked into believing you didn't have it.
Right.
Cause like ladies always free because they know if the women are there, the men are coming. So the power's still there. It's the power been there. You know what I mean? Like we could literally wipe out bloodlines. That's how powerful a woman. If we say, listen, y'all, don't nobody have this nigga baby. Fuck that nigga and his whole bloodline. He been on some bullshit. He been on some domestic violence shit with the past 4 women he been with. Don't nobody fuck with him, and don't nobody carry on his bloodline. This nigga's done. That's the fucking power we have. Like, y'all on some other shit. Y'all trying to get equal pay and shit, nigga. I'm on, like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like,
first of all, jobs is a scam anyway. Jobs for suckers. But anyway, so going back to the bloodline thing, yeah, that could definitely be a thing. However, you know, it's what that calls for again is accountability. Women don't, I know women give men shit about, you know, not having control over their loins, but women don't be having control over their loins either.
Oh, no, they do not.
Because those serial domestic offenders are also serial pipe layers.
Yep.
So it's like, well, I guess, you know, the same way that we give, you know, entertainers a pass for, you know, messing with little girls or beating up people or whatever, beating up women. But he's so talented. It's the same situation. So if you can look past the fluff into your own stuff, I'm preaching now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a totally different thing. But yeah, like what it really boils down to, like the matriarchy that women think they want, they're not ready for. They're not. You know, they need to realize, and they are probably the biggest carriers of patriarchy. If you keep it a buck.
Man, because it can't thrive if women don't believe in it. It literally can't work. If all the men believed in patriarchy and all the women were truly matriarchal, patriarchy will fall.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. It could be done in one generation. It could be done in one generation if women would actually embrace being women and actually stay home and educate their own children and make sure and raise them in a culture that's not sexist, instead of going out and trying to prove that you're as good as the man and earn as much money, sending your child to be educated in a patriarchal system so that they can continue the same system that you're claiming oppressed them. Take care of your family, raise your children, not to be a part of that system, and then you end it, but you just continue to feed it and give your children to it. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Yes, I definitely think that the fall of the woman, it pretty much, I think, came through, you know, the whole concept of having women work or whatever. And I mean, I guess to some extent, and we know, but we may not know. You know, you can look up stuff, but you know, if you're not getting like firsthand accounts, you know, because every story is different. But you know, apparently, women were trapped and they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that, and yeah, that may have been the case, but also it's
but
like
that was through this system too. You know what I mean? They had already put other systems in place that would help that track the woman too. You know what I mean? Like they had already wiped out all the other cultures. So it's like, it's kind of hard to really judge it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like judging this shit based on US history no more.
Yeah, and then also it's like we can talk about that, but then also there's certain women that just refuse to be victims. Like, you know, you already mentioned that, and we already know this, like women outlive men. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times because that nigga been poisoned for the past 15 years with his domestic ass. That's what they used to do back in the day.
True, that too.
Oh, he beat me. Hey, don't worry about it. You need to say something. I'm like, no, it's cool, it's cool. That nigga still want his grits. And back in the day,
Man,
antifreeze used to taste like Kool-Aid.
man.
So, it's
Yeah,
like,
at the same, man, because you cannot be fucking over somebody you giving access to your food to cook for you clean. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you think you about to get up out, you slowly get your ass up out of here.
yeah.
That's
And,
what I'm saying. Like, there's been no point in time where women have even actually truly been quote unquote weak for,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, there was that's never been the experience, especially the quote unquote Black woman experience. That has never been the experience of being like none of that. So like that history alone, that's why I was like, I really just don't understand a lot of times why like Black women identify as feminists, because that's not even like, if you look at your family is matriarchal. So like the woman is not oppressed in your culture. The woman is, you know what I mean? Like, now there may still be domestic violence and remnants of other parts of US culture in your family, but like the woman is respected. I have yet to really see a family that wasn't like, occasionally, but like a grandma led and everybody, that, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't
Niggas love
understand
their
what the,
grandma.
yeah, I was like, I don't understand the identification with feminism besides like in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't, it blows me. It really does. I'm like, that's not even Black culture. Like, patriarchy is not Black culture outside of religion.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
Outside
how could
of,
we have patriarchy in the Black community if everybody knows who their matriarch in their family is? Look, niggas ain't the ones that's, killing their grandparents for the life insurance money.
not
First of
at
all, they
all.
ain't got life insurance.
Insurance on grandma. They ain't even got life insurance on grandma. Grandma 90-some years old and they ain't even put no life insurance on her.
I don't
And
know.
these niggas out here
It's a little
taking
bit too
grandma
much
out.
money to pay every month. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm on a fixed income.
They be thinking, they be taking insurance policies out on their grandparents and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, man, it's crazy.
Yeah. I
It's
actually heard
truly
that you
crazy.
can, side note, I heard that you actually like put an insurance policy on your homeboy that's out here in the streets and like is probably going to die anyway from doing dumb shit, and you can cash out
Yep.
that too.
Yep.
Mm. So yeah, ladies, if you have a rambunctious hood nigga that's probably not gonna
Man.
make it, hey,
Yeah, but again, look, we talking
wait,
about the matriarch again. Okay,
yep,
matriarch, step up. That nigga is out here in these streets. Go get some life insurance on that nigga. He
right,
probably healthy. They probably give you some health insurance for on the low, or some life insurance on the low.
yeah,
They probably give you some life insurance on the low if he out here wilding like that.
yeah. I mean,
Start
just
taking steps to be strong. Like, stop being a fucking victim. Like,
right. And like to go back to your point as far as like, women never being weak, I think individually they can, or I think it's more so
yeah.
like they always had the choice. I think being weak was always a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that, women tolerate that they don't have to. And the
Yeah.
thing and we'll talk about this more, but the whole, box
Yeah.
management thing. I got a
They
whole
become emotionally
Mhm.
weak because they bought into the notion of being physically weak and inferior,
Mm-hmm.
and then therefore became emotionally weak and also spiritually weak, when originally we were the strongest spiritually, and that's really it always comes back to spirituality. Women are out of line spiritually because a lot of them go to spirituality through these religions who are patriarchal.
Mm-hmm.
A woman's not going to reach her pinnacle of being spiritual going through a patriarchal religion, just like a melanated person is not going to reach their pinnacle going through a European centered,
right,
whatever, you know what I mean? Like, so I think they need to understand there's a lot to unlearn.
Yeah, I would even go as far to say like a lot of the religions and stuff like that, they're more so, they may have even started in a situation that was more pure, but you know, the coat's been stepped on, and you know, it's been, you know, they've
it's been translated and retranslated and pimped out and re-pimped out and
yeah,
redone.
like, nah, this bitch a little too she a little too smart, a little too powerful. Let me take that out.
Man, they done took all kind of, they took all the women out.
Jesus used to hang with the hookers. Nah, let's take that out.
They took all the women out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
She had to either be a virgin or a whore. Couldn't be just no regular bitch. You know, she might have just, you know, she might have had a few partners here and there, but you know, she settled down, she got married, she's good. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
She's good. Couldn't be none of them. You had to be a virgin or a whore. Like, that was the, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that extreme. And another thing with the matriarch is stop putting so much pressure on like your vagina. Like, as far as who you share it with or don't share it with, being so much of like how you value yourself. Like, if you want to get down, then get the fuck down. If you don't, then don't. Like, it doesn't lessen or whatever your value. And people are going to judge you.
Yeah, regardless.
That's the thing. I feel like women are trying to run away from judgment. Like, I want to do whatever I want to do and I don't want to feel anyone's judgment. Well, then don't do it, bitch. I don't, like, you can't, like, it's mind boggling. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're truly comfortable with it, then stop. Then it wouldn't matter. The judgment doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. How does that judgment actually affect you? Can they like stop you from making money? They gonna stop you from eating? Like, are they, what exactly besides their words and you being in your feelings because you're not secure enough in your actions on your own? So maybe you shouldn't be doing them because you're insecure about it. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a personal problem. Now, I actually tweeted this before, but you're not on Twitter no more for real. But I was just like, I'm not foolish enough to deny that there's a percentage of men that hate women, but I definitely think that there's more women that hate women than men that hate women.
I would say yes, even though it's changing. But I would say yes, because there's a lot of women who truly hate themselves, who are so insecure, like just beyond insecure type of deal, that they can't do anything else. Like, there's plenty of men out there that are insecure, but the depths and level of female insecurity, just because of this, you know, social pressure for looking a certain way, being a certain way, you know what I mean? Like, for all of that, there's a lot. And then like we always talk about like women and like daddy issues and not having a lot of women have mommy issues. And they don't know how to connect with women because they have mommy issues. You know what I mean? Like, so there's already like, I mean, I had mommy issues for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, so like, oh, and just because of that sense, because it's just like, because I used to hang out, I still do hang out with a lot more males, just like, and yeah, like, men are real simple. Like, I mean, it's just it's really not that complicated. They might have their things, but men are very easily, for a lot of them, can like kind of like skate over them and just chill, and then not be, if they're in the chill mode and everybody chilling, they not too much gonna like think about whatever they got going on. They can just chill and do their thing. They ain't really like, got to be like extremely fucked up or nothing. Get on the game, talk some shit. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, chilling. Women, they tend to be like, that shit be taking them down. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no really, and they can't help but to like, oh, she thinks she cute. Why she got, you know what I mean? Like everything is like, and so it is a lot of woman. There is a lot of woman hate out of like insecurity and jealousy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even intentional sometimes. Like a lot of times it's not even intentional.
Yeah, they don't even know they hate themselves.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I think with men, I mean, it's more so that we know how to deal with, like, we have more outlets, or we use more outlets. So it's just like, damn, today sucked. All right, let me go have a drink. Let me go punch the bag. Let me go work out. Let me do this. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Me fix some shit. Like when I get annoyed, I start fixing stuff. Or I start like, cleaning up. That's just
Y'all get active. Y'all get active. Women tend to get lazy.
Yeah, they internalize.
And then they eat. Women are more likely to eat their emotions too.
Yeah, or shop, or other things.
So, or any other things, yes.
So yeah, I think it's just a lot of emotional management, policy management. I really think that women just need to come clean with themselves, like on an individual level.
They have to. They have to. You have to come clean with yourself in order to find any type of like balance. In order to, you have to hold yourself accountable for everything. You know what I mean? Like that's just because regardless, everything around you, universal law is gonna hold you accountable for it. So if you don't hold yourself accountable for it, you just gonna be getting the consequences and the cause and effect and being like, what's happening to me? Because you're not holding yourself accountable, but you still getting the consequences of what you're doing. But once you actually hold yourself accountable, then when stuff happens, you'll know why it fucking happened. You'll be able to see where you're putting this energy out and how you're getting it back. But if you still out here playing victim, oh, well, they did this to me, and you're like, well, how did you get in that situation? You know what I mean? Like nobody truly wants to be held accountable, because then you have to change if you don't want to be in the same situation, and people don't want to actually put in the work to change.
True. So, last question here.
Okay.
I mean, I would chime in on it, but I'm not a woman, so I can't do it. What does a strong matriarch, look like to you?
A strong matriarch is a culture that is actually created by the women. And anytime women create a culture, it's going to be created for the benefit of the children, which would then benefit adults and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? Which always benefits everybody. So I think a strong matriarch is spiritually grounded. You know what I mean? Like spiritually is spiritually led. It's not, what is it? Monetary. You know what I mean? It's not materialistic. It's not those things. It's spiritually led, and it's making sure that people are whole. It's holistic. You know what I mean? Like these are words that come to my mind when I think of a matriarch. I think of it being holistic. I think of it being natural. I think of it being a true culture, spirituality, being the basis, not attainment and going up. You know what I mean? And going up the ladder, but just a true, just enjoyment of life. You know what I mean? And community and safety. You know, all you have to do is look to nature. Like when you look at pretty much if you look at like the lion, if people love the fucking lion. If you look at the lion, it's basically the women taking care of the children. You know what I mean? And a lot of, for a lot, it's one male. But imagine that if there was multiple males. You know what I mean? If the males were as a, more of a human community, how a human community would look. Like that's what a matriarch, we have examples in nature. You know what I mean? We have plenty of examples of what these things look like in nature. And if you even look at nature, you see that the male is not really present when it comes to the inner dealings with the children. You know what I mean? Because that's not his strength. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the truth of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why that people are like, oh, why don't there's not more male teachers? Because that's not natural, especially elementary. You know what I mean? Like, we just, I mean, that's not saying that males can't, but I'm just saying nature. We're going with what's nature and natural.
Right.
So that's really on us. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the matriarch is. It's for me. And it has very little to do with what men do or don't do. Because guess what? It's not their choice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's in the matriarch, it's not really the male's choice. It doesn't mean that he's not considered or anything. It's just that the women are doing the best thing for the community, and you are part of the community or you're not a part of the community. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, we have a goal and this is where it's heading, and everybody has roles and everybody is valued equally. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because if one thing doesn't work, then the whole community doesn't work. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody is a moving piece, so everybody is valued, but you're either in or you out. Like, and it's not centered around the male ego.
Right.
And how you feel about it. But you're going to be taken care of. You know what I mean? You're going to have a role and everybody's going to be taken care of, because that's the basis of, that's how you create the best thing for the children, is for there not to be a reason for crime. Everybody good, we ain't got to worry. You know what I mean? If everybody has a healthy, holistic thing, we ain't got to worry about nobody out here trying to touch the babies. If everybody has a healthy sexuality, if everybody, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And we don't gotta, now we can have a little more freedom, a little more comfort. We don't have to live in fear of what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's when we can start getting on that stuff. For me, that's what the matriarchy brings back. It's not about a power struggle between men and women.
Right. Yeah, I definitely get that. And I that's a good definition. It's just crazy because, like, a lot of these societal pressures that's put on women is from people that don't even like women. But if people want to find you,
you can find me at my website is www.ajayadivine.com. I still am a little active on Instagram here as Ajaya Divine, at Ajaya Divine. Podcast is coming back this month for real. I figured out my new format, and I think I like it. So that's coming back. Infinite Beings Unite on, what is it, Spotify and Anchor, because Apple hate it.
They do that.
So yeah.
All right. We out. Happy Mother's Day and all that. Make sure you treat your mama and your baby mama well.